I recently read How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. Meeting people and making small talk can be awkward and stressful. But one way to reduce conversation anxiety is to view conversation like a friendly game of ping pong. Deliver a serve to your conversation partner they can hit, then keep the rally going. In this video, I'll show you how to serve up a new conversation and keep a conversation going so that meeting people isn't awkward and making new friends and forming new business relationships is easy. First, the serve. When serving up a new conversation, remember the acronym WIT: we, it, and they. Option 1. Start with a we or us statement. If you're waiting for a keynote speaker at a conference, you could turn to the person next to you and say, "I hear she's a great speaker. We are in for a treat." If you're at a workshop, turn to the person seated next to you and say, "I wonder what they'll have us do." If you're at a sporting event, casually comment to the person next to you, "Wow, we are really playing well today," or "We need to get back in this game." In this case, we includes you, the team, and your potential new friend, who you hope is rooting for the same team. But even if they aren't, they'll let you know, which can be the start of a fun conversation about why they're rooting for the wrong team. Author Leil Lowndes says, when you prematurely say we or us, even to strangers, it subconsciously brings them closer. It subliminally hints you are already friends. Since saying we or us makes the person you're talking to feel like you're already friends, they will probably playfully respond to your statement and get a conversation going. Option 2. Start with an it question. It being the big news of the day. Find an it before attending a social gathering by quickly browsing the latest news on your phone and finding a compelling story that the people at the party, meeting, or conference will enjoy talking about. If you're on your way to a business conference, research the latest industry buzz. If you're going to a Super Bowl party, browse ESPN.com or other sports websites for news on either team. If you're about to attend a party where people are likely to talk politics, quickly get caught up on a contentious new policy a political leader is considering. With an it in mind, you can then initiate a conversation by saying, "Have you heard about insert your it?" Or "What do you think of insert your it?" After asking either of those questions, the person you've asked will either be eager to give their opinion or not be informed and want to know more. Option 3. Start with a "they told me." They being the host of a party or someone who you and the person you're talking to both know. A "they told me" statement might sound like, "Susan told me you're visiting from Canada," or "Bob told me you're quite the artist," or "Sally told me you're a huge Red Sox fan." Acquiring information necessary to deliver a "they told me" statement requires you to do some upfront work and ask the host of a party or someone who knows the people at the party for interesting facts about the people you could meet. When I do this, I remember the acronym HIP. Do they have cool hobbies? Do they have similar interests? Or do they have interesting professions? When you deliver a "they told me," you imply that the person you're talking to is your friend through association, and you flatter them with praise, which will increase their willingness to talk to you. Now, if you can't think of a we statement, or you don't have time to research an it, or you don't know anyone who can provide you with a good "they told me," go with a tried and true conversation starter. How do you spend most of your time? If you know a person next to you is from New York City, ask, "How do you spend most of your time in New York City?" At which point, they can either talk about work and explain what they do for a living, or tell you about how they love running in Central Park on the weekends. Notice how much better a question, "How do you spend most of your time?" is than "What do you do?" What do you do is an overused question that either gets a lazy response or forces people to talk about a profession they don't want to talk about. I'm an IRS agent, thanks for asking. The question, "How do you spend most of your time?" leads to a world of interesting possibilities, because if a person doesn't want to talk about their work, they have an opening to talk about what they love, like being a mother of 4 or golfing on weekends. Now that you have a few ways to serve up a conversation, keep the conversation going by smoothly returning the conversation back to them. If you want to keep a ping pong rally going, you should make your returns as easy as possible to hit. The same is true for conversations. The easiest and most reliable way to give your conversation partner a chance to talk is to parrot back words they've just said. As you listen to their response to your serve, be a word detective and listen for words that are rich with meaning. Think of yourself like Sherlock Holmes, listening for clues in the form of topic deviations or emotional inflections. When you detect a word you sense your conversation partner is eager to talk about, lob it back to them in the form of a question or comment. For example, after asking someone how they've spent most of their time at a conference you're both attending, they might say, "I went to a half-day workshop. It was great." At which point you could say, "Half-day workshop?" Or, "I've heard good things about that workshop." Or you could simply parrot back the last word they said. What made it great? In the end, strike up a conversation with someone by serving up a we statement, it question, or a they told me. If you don't have a good we, it, or they, simply ask, how do you spend most of your time? All four options make it easy for your conversation partner to respond and start an enjoyable back and forth conversation. Keep the conversation going by being a word detective and parroting keywords back to them that they're eager to expand on. If you follow this simple formula, you'll find that meeting new people is both easy and enjoyable. That was the core message that I gathered from How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes. This is a great book, packed with useful conversation skills. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, please share it. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.